How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggy With It. I'm Will, and today we're opening up, well, if you saw the thumbnail, the newest 4 packs from Marvel Uno Ultimate. We did open up, or I did open up, and you can see on our channel, Loki and Ant-Man, as well as, if you kind of look over my shoulder here, the Uno Ultimate DC, so you can go check out what came in those boxes. But we did have a viewer who was nice enough, saw our video, told him that we needed these, found them in his local stores, sent them our way. Now I will let you know of course, hollows will not be in here. I went ahead and let him have them because we don't do anything with them. And last time we gave them away as part of our charity, Extra Life charity giveaway. Well, yeah, that we did for Uno Ultimate. But that said, we'll go ahead and flip over the camera, go through the decks like we normally do, see how these new cards work. All right, so there we go. The 4 new decks, we have Spider-Gwen, or I think she goes by Ghost Spider now, Rocket Groot, the Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, and Shang Chi. Obviously going to be excited for Shang Chi. So with that said, we'll go ahead and start with Shang Chi, I guess. So these ones are the 2023. That means they should have the item cards. Unfortunately, they, of course, won't have the locations. Because the locations were part of the DC. So I would imagine that's going to get added with the 2024 decks, or if they happen to release another set of decks in 2023. I don't want to say they're running out of characters, but they've kind of hit most of the popular stuff that's going on right now. All right. So here we go. The first card here, Master of Kung Fu. So this is his character card. When you change the active color, look at the top 3 cards of your character deck. You may play one of these cards if you are able, then place the other 2 cards at the bottom of your deck. You may do this a maximum of 3 times per turn. That seems pretty powerful. All right, then we'll just go ahead and look through the art. I guess we'll go through the red cards. That's what's on top. I don't know if they're going to have the, I mentioned in a couple of the other unboxings, the movie stills mixed, or not the movie stills, but the movie art mixed with the comic art. It didn't look like they did, but then again, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie version of the comics, but just looking at these, it doesn't look like they are. So that's good. I just don't like it. It's a personal preference. I don't know what I would dislike more: movie stills, as some people dislike, or mixed continuity art in a single set of cards. I think the mixed continuity art bothers me more. All right, so here we go. So here is the wild cards. The first one is Flowing Strike. Choose a player to burn 2 cards. Then when another Shang-Chi card is played on top of this card, shuffle this card back into your deck. Ooh, so he brings it back. So he's got 4 of those. Next is Soft Strikes. Choose a player to add 1 card. When another Shang-Chi card is played on top of this card, shuffle this card back into your character deck. So he keeps getting them back. Now this one does have the rings. I just noticed that all of these have the rings, which maybe I'm not caught up on the comics, but the 10 rings, of course, was the Mandarin. Yet in the movies, the Mandarin turned out to be his father, which in the comics is not the case. Unless they've retconned that as well. So I'm kind of confused about the rings, unless they're just trying to get the MCU connection. Rapid Strike, choose a player to flip a danger card. If it's an enemy card, they burn 2 cards. If it's an event card, they add 2 cards. Well, that's not very nice. All right. Then his last one is Masterful Strike. Recover 1 card for each card you played this turn. When another Shang-Chi card is played on top of this card, shuffle this card back into your deck. So he gets all but that 1 wild card shuffled back into his deck. So his first enemy is a Razor Fist. When flipped, he's going to reverse. So of course, for us in a 2-player game, that acts as a skip. While attacking, when you change the active color, burn 2 cards. To defeat is a yellow or red. And they did put the Mandarin in here. So the Mandarin was not in Iron Man's deck, but they have him here instead. So Mandarin, burn 3 cards while attacking. At the start of your turn, burn a wild card from your hand and then add 1 card to defeat green or blue. So burning a card does not, now that would be a good question. When another Shang Chi card is played on top of this card, shuffle this card back into your deck. I wonder if that includes burning cards, because when you burn a card, you burn it face up. I highly doubt Mattel would ever give a ruling, but it sounds like that plays off of that Mandarin card, where you would burn the card, you could burn your wild, it's face up. As soon as you have to burn another card to your burn pile, you're playing it on top of that card, you can bring it back. Makes sense to me anyways. That'd probably be how I'd play it. All right, Sci-Fan Cyber Ninjas, tongue twister. When flipped, all players burn a card. So again, yeah, that plays into his bringing back his wild card. So I would almost guarantee that's how it's supposed to work. At the start of your turn, all players burn one card. Again, to defeat, play a red or a event. All right, event double kick. Discard the top card of the danger deck. If it's an event, recover 2. If it's an enemy, choose to burn 2. All right, split decision. You may shuffle up to 2 cards from your hand into your character deck, add 2 cards. Disarm. Choose a player, they burn 2 cards, and you destroy one of their item cards. So you could even choose yourself, I mean, technically, and be able to get your wild card back, but you lose an item. Then limit break. If it's your turn, add 2 cards. And then the item, which was upside down for some reason, is an improvised weapon. So it's an apple. At the start of your turn, if you're being attacked by an enemy card, choose a player to burn 2 cards. And again, choosing a player could be you. All right. And let me check. Let me just double check. I mean, they've got rule sheets. Always thinking on his feet. Chain wild cards together make powerful combinations. Because of it, change color, and then you can look at the top 3 cards. You don't always have to play another card. This is just normal Uno rarity and all that. So yeah, it doesn't specifically call that out, but that makes sense because a lot of the cards in his deck deal with burning. That yes, you would burn on top of your own wild card because you had to do that because of Mandarin, and then you could bring that wild card right back. All right, so next we got, we're going to go with Spider-Gwen, or Ghost Spider as she would be. All right, I don't know if she's still in the 616. Well, she was there, but she, like, all the universes got combined as part of Secret War. And I'm way behind my comics now. I need to find time to read. And she was supposed to be in the 616, but I think she just keeps visiting, and like her universe still existed. You guys can let me down in the comments if you know anything more about Ghost Spider now. Quick Wit, at the start of your turn, you may place a card from your hand under your draw pile to add 1 card once per turn. All right, we'll just go ahead and look at the art on the red cards again. I do like her uniform is like very unique. Really like her uniform, and of course, J. Scott Campbell, love his art. So I love the uniqueness of her outfit. It was one thing that made her stand out from most of the other spiders that they had used to create. They were all kind of just wearing a clone of Spider-Man's outfit in some way. Her Spider Venom, her Gwenom, I guess, costume actually is pretty cool as well. All right, so her first wild card is from downtown. Choose a player. They must burn a wild card from their hand and add 1 card. If they cannot, they add 3 cards. So 4 of those. To the rescue. So to the rescue, the next player burns 2 cards. The next card played cannot be an action card. Turn up the music. So of course she is in a rock band. So the next player burns 3 cards without a event symbol from their hand and adds 3 cards. Balancing act. All players with less than 3 cards in their hand add cards until they have 3 cards. All players with more than 4 cards burn cards until they have 4 cards. Okay, so it gets everybody else down to catch up, but then makes everybody else go back up if they're winning. All right, so first bad guy is Tombstone. When flipped, the next card played must be a event card. While attacking, burn 1 card after you add cards. Yellow is all it takes. Man Wolf. I don't know why they made him up. I mean, I guess he's kind of a bad guy, but he's not really. Skip your next turn while attacking. Reveal your hand. If you played an action card, play a blue. Jackal. So I notice a lot of times with your Spider-Man decks, they just give you the rest of the Spider-Man's rogue gallery because most of the spiders they create don't have their own for the most part. Burn 2 cards while attacking. Your wild card cannot change the active color. Play a green. Makes sense because he's green. Topsy-turvy. Add 1 card, burn 1 card, reverse. Shift. Burn 1 card from your hand, add 1 card. Glide. Choose up to 3 cards in your hand and place them on the bottom of your character deck and add the same amount. Choose 3 cards from your hand, place. Okay, so you're basically just replacing 3 of your cards. Item, web shooter. Destroy the item card to ignore the while attack on the enemy card until the start of your turn. And then she has a second item card, headphones. Again, J. Scott Campbell art. Headphones, destroy this item card to ignore a skip card against you. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So yeah, her deck really seems like it's all about balancing, like trying to make sure that the game stays even. Most of her event cards and of course her wild cards seem to play into that. All right, so next we have Rocketing Groot. I am Groot. So we will open that up. You go back in here because I don't need you. All right, so Rocketing Groot. So it's the old school Rocketing Groot costumes here. Guardians of the Galaxy, I should say. So they have two. Oh, I didn't know. So they have 2 icons in the bottom instead of just 1 icon. What's in it for us? When you defeat an enemy, you may destroy an item attached to another player or search the danger discard pile for an item and attach it to you. Okay, so they're taking items from somewhere, anywhere. So here's our art. Like this is the, oh, what is it? I like his art. I've got his coloring book. I want to go with Scott, but it's not Scott. Is it Scott? Oh, I love his art though. But yeah, he had a 1 comic run. He's got another comic series of his own. It's called I Hate Fairyland. Really good comic. So we got Groot, Rocket and Groot. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of the art's from that comic line when it was the Rocket and Groot comic line. Yeah, so. And then we get back into the blues. And the greens. And the yellows. All right. All right, so we go into our wild cards here. Bang Bang. Choose a player, add 1 card, burn 1 card. For each item you have attached, up to 2, you may choose again. Oh, so basically you want items, which makes sense for Rocket. Teamwork makes the dream work. Defeat an enemy. Look at the top 5 cards of the danger deck. If you find an item card, you may attach 1 to you. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the danger deck. So you're digging for items, and then you're putting the rest on the bottom so your opponent's not getting them. All right. Out with a bang, and I noticed at the beginning, and I wanted to read it before I mentioned it, is that it kind of goes over the, it goes over the edge. I thought it was broken, but it's actually a face there. Never mind. I was thinking the bang, it was like an explosion, and it blew apart the frame. Either way, still cool. What is it? If you have items attached, destroy them all, and each other player burns 3 cards and flips a danger card. Otherwise, treat this text as blank. Okay, so you have to discard all of your items. So you kind of want to play that when you don't have that many items attached yet. I was thinking maybe the more items, the more it would do, but it doesn't seem to be that way. Scavenge for parts. Swap this item card attached to you with the item card attached to another player. So you're basically stealing item cards. Ego the Living Planet. So again, they've tried to keep the MCU connection a little bit. I'm not sure if Rocket and Groot have ever done anything on Ego. When flipped, defeat the enemy attacking another player. While attacking at the start of your turn, if there is another enemy in play, add 1 card. Defeat is a green. See, Blackjack, I was going to say Bucky O'Hare. Blackjack O'Hare makes sense. When flipped, attach an item card for the danger discard from the danger discard pile. While attacking, at the start of your turn, if you have an item card attached, burn 2 cards and then play red. So it kind of plays off of that, you know, Rocket's normally going to have item cards. And then Rocket's X, so it is from that storyline. It is from that comic storyline. When flipped, each player with an item card add 1 card. While attacking, when you flip a danger card, burn 2 cards, defeat player blue. And it's very common with a lot of your board games. Most of the stuff that they're going to use is usually 4 years prior. So most of the stuff is from 2017, 2018, 2019 probably. Event Rut-Row, for each active enemy card, add 1 card. Scree! All players add 1 card, burn 1 card. Accelerate. If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, burn 2 cards from your hand. Item, here we go. Rocket's item, laser cannon. At the start of your turn, choose a player. They either burn 1 card or reveal their hand. And another one, grenades. So destroy this item card during your turn, defeat an enemy, then all other players burn 2 cards. So that's one thing, is not all decks come with item cards. So I would almost feel like Rocket's deck may not be that powerful if say you're playing 1 versus 1 and you're using one of the older decks. It is one of the reasons why I've mentioned, and I know other people have mentioned too, just taking all the item cards and always incorporating them into the decks, or in the future location cards. And then if you want it to be thematic, keep the appropriate villains. But even still, like we saw with Miles Morales in my last unboxing, and then of course Spider-Gwen, some of the villains in there, of course, would work with regular Spider-Man. And the Mandarin, of course, is in Shang Chi, which would be Iron Man. So that's another option, would be just to thematically pick your villains, thematically pick your event cards, or randomly even. The only thing is there could be some balance issues, because like I said, a lot of these event cards you can tell are designed to work with the specific hero that's in the box. I digress. We'll go ahead and get into the last deck. That is Mighty Thor, Jane Foster, Spark Surges. At the start of your turn, burn 1 card. If it's the action card, all other players burn 1 card. And then I'm imagining all this art isn't going to be the movie art, now that I think about it, stating what I said earlier. Most of the time they're pulling images from 4+ years ago. And of course, the Shang-Chi and the Mighty Thor movie, or Thor 3, came out recently. All right, so here's our art. Again, most of the art they've ever done for Mighty Thor looks really good. Oh, I've never seen it before, but it's got Jane Foster. There we go. So switcheroo, do not pass go, do not collect $200. All right, so now we get into our wilds. First one is Relentless. All their players add 1 card and burn 1 card. If this card is burned, all their players add 1 card and then burn 1 card. No matter what, they're going to be adding and burning. Energize. Burn 3 cards, recover 3 non-wild cards. All right, so you cannot do wild cards. All right. Hammer time. Can't touch this. No, never mind. Defeat an enemy. If you defeat an enemy, skip the next player and recover 2 action cards. If this card is burned, recover 3 other non-wild cards. Okay, so that's a good way for you to get your good cards back. Well, I say good cards, but wild cards, what you normally want to be fishing for. All right, last one is Eat My Hammer. Choose a player to add 2 cards. If this card is burned, you may exchange a card in your hand with this card. Okay, so use this to burn, and because of an effect, like for example, Mandarin, then you can just basically get rid of another card, is what that's saying. Gore, of course, they're going to put him in, because again, they're keeping with the Marvel Cinematic Universe connections here. And although gore in the comics and gore in the movies are 2 totally different things, one involves the Venom symbiote, the other one doesn't. Can you guess which one doesn't? When flipped, burn a random card from your hand and then add 1 card. When attacking, cards in your burn pile cannot be moved to another location. Play pretty much anything to get rid of it. Play a wild. Here we go. Next is the Executioner. When flipped, burn 2 cards or burn a wild card from your hand and then add 1 card. While attacking, increase the number of cards you burn from your character deck by 1. Play a red. Mangog. Man God the Destroyer. When flipped, burn a non-action card from your hand, or not action, but event card from your hand, and then add one card. While attacking at the start of your turn, burn one card. You cannot recover cards. Play a yellow. That's not good when you can't recover. Event ask for help. Until the start of your next turn, if another player plays an action card, defeat an enemy card attacking you. That's kind of nice. Obliterate. Destroy all item cards attached to your character card. Mishap. Burn a wild card from your hand and then add 2 cards. Event channel. If the next card played changes the active color, that player burns 2 cards. And she has 1 item, which is arm guards. Reduce the number of cards you burn from an event card by 1. I feel like that was a miss. I feel like she should add 2, and Mjolnir should have been one of them. That way you could have actually used that item card in Thor's deck, for example, right? You could have just basically used that item card, similar to the web shooters, right? You could use that in Spider-Man's deck. Either way, I digress. All right, there we go, guys. That is Uno Ultimate, the 4 new packs. Let us know what type of matchups you would like to see us do with these decks on the channel down below in the comments. Of course, we do still need to play those other decks that I talked about, the DC Uno Ultimate, the Loki, and Ant-Man. Plus, we got some of the older decks, the She-Hulk, Miles Morales, and Miss Marvel. So again, you want to see any of that content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell notification, so that way you know when we go live. Until next time, guys, peace.